offering themselves up as treats in the church. Amen. We got treats in leadership. Amen. We got up, amen, when they should be shutting it down. Amen. And so this is why we have this argument going on. Amen. You got women, amen, in the congregation, laity, and they are now sleeping with the pastor, sleeping with, amen, leaders in the church and doing all this stuff. Amen. But then they come back. Amen. They want to complain about it, but you didn't say anything in the beginning, or you didn't know enough to stop it before it ever started. Amen. And so we have a whole lot of people offering themselves up as tricks. Amen. Believe it or not, at all these big conferences and stuff, and when people are away, what's the worldly phrase? That when, what do they call it? When, whatever. When something is away, something will play. Right?
When God's away, the mice will play.
The mice will play. I just want to see who knew it. Amen. So say it one more time.
God's away, mice will play.
All right, so they will play. And so when we away, amen, and so we in these big cities where these big conferences are, and maybe nobody know us there, and now all these things are happening, so we start seeing all this underground activity going on. I remember reading this. I don't know the exact statistic, but I do remember there was an article that talked about how that when conferences come to town, that there was one hotel that reported how much the sales for pornographic movies and rated X movies go up in the hotel rooms. Amen. And so can somebody say there are a whole lot of single people going to these conferences? Amen. And as the single people go, they surely not keeping it holy. And so this is why we have to have this conversation. Amen. And so let the journey begin. Y'all ready? Amen. Here we go. Don't be a trick or a treat. And so what are we saying when we say this? Well, 2 Timothy 3, 1-5 says this. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. And so we have to have this conversation because in the last days, there's some things being released that I believe that we're ill-equipped to handle because we're trying to be so holy. Amen. And we're trying to be so holy, amen, and nothing wrong with that, but we cannot be so holy that we're no earthly good, right? That we don't keep an understanding of what is happening, what is going on in the world. And so there's a whole culture now that we are not exempt from, and that culture is meant on getting us to fall into the promiscuity of what they're offering. Amen. And so just because you saved, sanctified, super holy, speak in tongues and do all that, you sing and with the best of them, you prophesy with the best of them, that means nothing to the enemy. And so in the last days, it's going to mean even less. Wow. Amen. Unless we learn what we need to do. Verse number 2, people will be lovers of themselves. Watch this now. And this is Paul talking to his spiritual son Timothy. He's not talking about the world. He's talking about people in the church. He is giving him spiritual understanding, spiritual counsel. And so we're talking about those who call themselves sons and daughters of the Most High God. He said these people will become lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. And finally, they will have a form of godliness, but denying its power, have nothing to do with such people. And I want to point out this last, have nothing to do with such people. Why is that important? Anybody? Why is that? Have nothing to do with these kinds of people. Why is that important? Not everybody at once. Yes?
I would say because he understands that the flesh is weak. So if we entertain those people, that spirit or that whatever, may fall upon us.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Why is this important? Understanding our relationships. Yes, ma'am.
I was going to say just the reverse of it, saying having a form of godliness but denying its power. They don't want to deal with those type of people because they're the type of people who are going to know the power of God. So they're going to try to separate themselves.
Okay. All right. And so I would say that here he's saying have nothing to do with the people who fall into those categories up there. That if we're going to keep ourselves holy, if we're going to be single and be holy, and really holy across the board, single or whether married or whatever, then we have got to learn that we can't be connected to these kind of people. Because there is a war, and one side or the other is going to win that war.